Yeah, so you've descended into the cave. You've gone down this. The two of you have gone down this path, and Mirth, you move up to this makeshift campsite looking for personal items. Give me a search roll, please.
Ooh, here we go. All right.
All right, investigation works. So you're looking through it, and you find a kind of grubby, a grubby notebook, a small, like leather-bound little journal.
All right. I'll hop back over to Angus and then flip it open.
Okay. You recognize the handwriting. It's the same handwriting you saw on the papers in the priest's office.
All right.
And it says, oh, there's like a few days jotted down. And the first one says that I've come to this cavern under Valkyr's direction, but I do not understand his desire for this pilgrimage. But I'm here awaiting his next word. And they're kind of, as you kind of flip through it real quick, there's a lot of prayers to Valkyr asking why he's down here, what Valkyr is asking of him, and you find as you flip through, like, the ramblings get a little less coherent as you go. There's talk of, like, the mushrooms continue to spread closer and closer to my camp. They're growing more rapidly than I've ever seen. And at one point there's a page talking about the gift of the word of Valkor that he has been given, that he has found down here in the waters of the deep ocean place that he found within this cavern. And so that's kind of as you're flipping through it really quickly, those are the things that stand out to you the most.
All right. So this guy's going mental. Angus, you wanna fall back and bring up the rest of the party?
Yeah, I mean, we've got confirmation that Shepard was definitely here, is probably still here. Probably best if we confront him as a group.
All right, great. Do you want me to wait here as guard?
Probably better you than I. You have the dark vision after all. I'll be right back.
All right. I'll kind of fade away towards the back of the room, actually on the opposite wall from the camp, and watch.
Okay, you lean towards the opposite wall of the camp and watch. Angus, you bring the notebook back to the rest of the group.
Looks like the lizard folk weren't lying. He was definitely here. Might still be here. Figured it'd be best to regroup before we push on any further.
All right. Do we want like a particular marching order then?
I'll take the back.
I can go up front if we need.
Yeah,
I'll go middle.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay. Just make sure you keep that light going, because again, blind in the dark.
Don't worry, I'll stick close.
So.
And by now, I think you see Luna almost shivering, and she's extremely uncomfortable, and she's cold.
Something wrong, Luna?
She takes a minute to answer and says, "No, it's fine. I'm alright. Can I take the back?"
Yeah, absolutely.
She nods.
As Angus brings the rest of the team through to where I am, I'll step out from the shadows, assuming nothing's disturbed me,
Sure.
and
No,
kind of
nothing is
dryly
disturbing you as
say,
of right now.
I'll dryly say boo as Vasir walks by.
Don't do that. You know I can just randomly punch things.
Couldn't help myself. Alright, onwards we go.
Okay.
Luna's making sure nobody's tailing us.
Okay. Why don't we get give me some perception checks for them, probably the person in the front of the party and the person at the rear.
Yeah, two highest wisdom characters.
If only I had perception as an actual trained skill.
Good start.
Well, Luna, you have the difficult task of looking behind you the entire time, and kind of looking over your shoulder and listening behind you. And the path ahead of you is bright, and the path behind you is dark. So, as much as you keep your eyes out, it is getting harder and harder the deeper you go into the cave to be able to really pay attention to all that's behind you. Vasir, as you move forward, you come into the opening where this little camp was, and it's a decent-sized opening that has the camp on the left-hand side of the pathway that led you in here, and then kind of opens forward to a ledge of stone ahead of you that's probably about 10 feet high or so, and right in the middle of it are carved steps, just kind of roughly hewn out of the stone itself, making a easy path up onto the ledge ahead of you.
All right, watch your step. There's apparently some stairwell here, which means that this place has been used in the past for something.
I'd like to check for traps.
Go ahead and give me that roll.
And do we see any sign of life? Recent signs?
Up these stairs, yeah, there's like there's muddy drag marks going up these steps. As far as any traps, Angus, you were looking around, no sign of tripwires, pressure plates, gears, anything that would indicate the typical traps that you could associate with a cave like this. You see nothing of that sort as you move forward. The way seems clear.
What are we gonna do when you find the priest?
Well, I have a little bit of a plan. I'm going to try to appeal to his faith a little bit and see if I can't figure out a way to convince him that maybe things aren't the way that they should be. That's kind of my main plan. Outside of that, just sort of restraining him, bringing him back to town, and seeing if any of the townspeople have any ideas.
My idea was similar. We convince him he's crazy. Whether he is or not.
It's not really all that difficult thing to do. There's an old meditation that one of my masters taught me that helps me to clear my mind a little bit, and that might be helpful for him.
And if that doesn't work, I'll try to hold him in place. Maybe we can get him out of this cave. But please, if possible, we shouldn't kill him.
Well, yeah, that's my last plan.
I think
Alright.
we're all in agreement on that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Mostly because Gerard's not here. But
Unfortunately true. You move up the stairs after seeing that there's no sign of any kind of hindrance, and you find at the top of the steps a clearing of sorts. There's no fungus really around this area. It's kind of grown on the walls. It's on the walls of this part of the cavern, but not all over the floor. And you find kind of evidence of an old mining camp. Probably long gone mining camp. There's dusty, old, moldy bedrolls, a stone-built fire pit in the midst of these bedrolls that is more than just like a circle of rocks. It's more like actually stacked stone that you could put your feet up on after a long day of work. There are broken lanterns around and some old mining equipment that has long since kind of seen its share of rot. The picks and shovels having rusted, and the handles of such being covered in the same fungus that's on the walls. The room kind of stretches out forward before you a little ways, and to the left there's an opening that goes deeper into the caverns, just kind of having a slight downward slope through the opening.
Is there anything that can help us maybe guess how old is this mining camp?
Give me a history roll. I think that would be best. Or a nature roll.
Can I give it a shot as well?
Anybody
I was
can.
going to ask, do we know what they would have been mining in these caves? Could I roll history for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, wow.
Okay. What's a mining shaft?
Salt, maybe gemstones as well, if they could be found, is likely what was available in this area, based on your history check. You would have to see more of the caverns and more of the evidence of what was being mined to know that, but you know generally the history of this part of the world, and that those are things that have come out of mines in similar locations. So could be a salt mine. I'll let you know that based on the equipment that you're looking at, couldn't be any older than 10-12 years by the look of the equipment, as far as like technological advances in mining equipment during the during the time period. Kind of looking at it from a historical sense, it's similar to things that you would see in a mining camp now, similar to the mining gear you've seen now, but it's obviously old enough that it's been down here for quite a while, and Shepard's journal goes back only a few years, so it had to have been before then that this was a mining cave.
All right. The mine is in a swamp, right? So would we happen to know if the cave is itself anywhere near an ocean?
Yeah, well, I mean, Anchor is a port town that's only a couple days travel from where you are now. So yeah, you are definitely near ocean.
All right. Well,
And this cave that you found, it was up a bit of a rise out of the swamp, so it's not. If the swamp really flooded, you might think that it would be in danger of becoming bogged down by that, but you do know that it was up on a rise out of the water enough that it was on stony ground.
Okay. We're continuing.
Shepard's journal mentioned that the fungus spread to the caves, but he didn't specify whether it came from here and then spread to the swamp, or the other way around. But if whatever's causing it is from down here, maybe Valka sent him here to fix it, and he got the wrong idea.
that's an interesting proposition.
Seeing his grimoire, I don't think he was sent by Valkyr.
Luna, you're getting a little quiet.
Seeing his grimoire, I do not think he was sent by Valkyr.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
Angus, how long have you known Shepard for?
I mean, I've only been an Anchor a couple of weeks, and I wouldn't say I know him well. Like I said, I don't really follow Valkyr, so I went to the church more to pray in my own way to Thunder, and so... I mean, I've seen him in passing. I mean, he seems fine. Except for when we went and confronted him, and he decided that it would be a good idea to send Vasir to a demi-plane. And then...
To be fair, I can be very annoying.
Yeah, but then Mirth read the book and went a little bit crazy for a few minutes there.
That was not a fun time.
That is also true.
So I think Luna's probably right. I mean, he might have been sent here by Valka originally, but that grimoire is definitely not from Valka.
Honestly, I'm thinking that he's probably been under the influence of something else for a while. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of this idea, but it's the concept of what's known as a deceiving demon. It's pretty simple. There's a lot of things out there. Some of them are capable of influencing your mind. Some of them are also evil. So there's always a possibility that if you hear something in your mind or you start thinking something, it might be because something evil is influenced. You might not realize it at first, but it's something to always sort of look back on and make sure is the case. And you can use outside things to figure out if that's the case. For him, it's possible that he might just be getting the whispers, so to speak. And he thinks it's his god, but could be something else, obviously. But he doesn't really have a way of discerning that.
Okay, to reiterate, to convince Shepard that he's crazy, you're kind of starting to make me doubt my own sanity, so... Not fun.
Well, it's not that. It's something to just think about every once in a while, just to make sure that your thoughts are...
See, like, those kinds of heady, complex thoughts, I hate that. Like, what's right in front of me? Deal with that. That's easy.
Yeah, I get that. It's just something that I've been trained on meditating. It makes sure that I know that I'm me at all times. Every night, just go through the different processes, make sure that I'm not screwing up, and that I know that I'm still in control of myself. It's that easy.
Probably easier when you don't have dreams every night where you're quite literally not yourself.
Yeah, but you can explain that, and you understand why that's the case.
Understand is a bit of an overstatement. I have a notion, a vague clue.
Well, it's all about being able to reason things. So long as you are capable of doing that, then you're probably on a good path.
Okay, so right now we need to reason out, what do we do with Shepard?
I was planning on just telling him all that. Hoping that works.
Do we know if he's capable of reason or not? Because his actions seem to hint against it.
Well, that's the thing. If he's not, then why would, for instance, a god that he believes to be benevolent prevent him from being able to do so, right? If it is his god that's speaking to him, why would that god want him not to think about it?
I say if he can't be reasoned with, we capture him as soon as possible.
Well, yeah, that'll be the, secondary option. Of course, dragging him all the way back to town is probably going to be a little bit of a trek. Not gonna lie.
Last time we tied him up, he cut my rope in half, so now I have 225 lengths of silk rope, so we can bind his feet and hands and carry him back hogtied if we have to.
Very
You
smart.
can use my quarterstaff to, keep him, carried up.
I like the idea of that.
Now we just have to hope he's actually here, because if we've come up with this brilliant plan and it turns out this cave is empty, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Okay, Luna, hearing the notion that the cave might be empty, she's like, let's not waste time.
Yeah, you guys are having this conversation, and and Sharp-Eyed is kind of pacing back and forth and pointing and looking at the drag marks that have continued out of this cavern to the opening on the left, and he is kind of standing at that opening looking around anxiously as you talk over these old mining supplies that you're looking through.
Come on, let's go.
All right, yeah, let's do this.
You move into this area of the caverns, and as you pass through this empty entranceway, you see that there's a thicker, thicker amount of fungus on the walls here, more of that stepped fungus that you saw earlier, and the ground for a good 20 feet, about 10 feet from the entrance and about a good 20 feet out, is this thick yellow carpet of fungal mold kind of growing on this cave floor.
Okay.
All right, who's stepping on it?
I guess
I got new boots, and it sure ain't me.
I'll go first. I mean, the spores don't seem to have affected me so far. Maybe I'll get lucky again.
Okay, so you enter the room, and about 10 feet in front of you, as you enter the room, there's no fungus, and kind of along the walls, there's a thin pathway that is void of fungus, but of this mold that's on the floor. However, the walls are covered in thick fungus, and you would be crouched in an odd position if you're trying to keep to this path, but you could do it. And this, you see the 15 feet out past of your bright light. You see this whole area. Like I said, about 20 feet out from where the mold starts, and kind of in every direction from there, is carpeted with this yellow fungus, and even beyond into the 15 feet of you can kind of see that from the 15 feet of dim light beyond the 15 feet of bright light coming from your sword. So if you move out into this fungus, I will need you to make a Constitution save.
All
You
of
get
us?
whoever steps out into it. Whoever has stepped
I'll
out.
join
into it.
in. So
So I will need a Constitution save. You have that.
Nice.
Towel or cloth wrapped around your face as a mask. So I will give you advantage on it.
yeah, same thing either way.
Okay. You begin to step through this yellow mold, and clouds of spores begin to eject from it in these puffs that go into the air further than even your height. They kind of start filling this cavern, and you just feel lucky to have your face covered as it does this. You're able to kind of move through it without a problem. But it
Angus is just going to take a moment to sort of steel himself, concentrate, and just consciously stop breathing.
Luna and Mirth, as you stand back and watch this start to happen, you notice that the spores are are filling this room. They're not just like upright immediately above where they're being stepped, but it's actually like these are popping explosions of spores as they step onto this mold. And I'm gonna need each of you to make a Constitution save unless you back out of the room.
No, I think I'll stick around for a bit.
Again, if your face is wrapped, you will have
advantage.
advantage.
Thank God.
Yes. Okay, so Luna has a 17. Mirth, you just start coughing and hacking as you take, as you feel the spores just kind of filling your lungs, and you're breathing them in, and you realize that you haven't fully covered yourself with this mask. You're like holding it over your nose, and the bottom part of it is just kind of hanging loose, and spores are getting up into it, and you start coughing and hacking. You are poisoned, and you will be taking 11 points of poison damage as you are coughing and hacking from
A lot of damage from some mushrooms.
from this.
If possible, when we exit or at least when we're out of the spored area, Luna casts Lesser Restoration on Mirth.
Okay.
Plus
When
your
we
soul.
leave this,
As you move forward, Angus, and your light kind of illuminates the rest of this cavern, this part of the cavern, you see that this yellow sporous fungal mold kind of goes out even further than you originally thought. As the dim light becomes bright light, you realize that this carpet of mold goes on for it just keeps going through this part of the cavern. You also see off to your left that there is kind of a ledge to this part of the cavern that goes straight off into darkness, and that this part of the cavern narrows significantly to a place where only two of you will be able to walk shoulder to shoulder, and that's like as you're crossing this yellow mold. You also see that as you're looking around, you see that there is a path through this mold that's been kind of torn up by something being dragged into the cave. And that's kind of the scene. You have about you do have another 30 feet of light as you've moved. You moved the first 15 or so or 20 into the room where the mold was, and you see that the mold extends to where this narrow place is ahead of you. You're probably about halfway to it where you're standing now. Vasir, you didn't get affected by the mold. You should be fine.
Yeah, I'm just trying to test something here.
Oh,
Like,
I see.
I'm thinking about like the fact that we're using clothes essentially to cover ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm putting my shirt over my mouth, and I'm just kind of keeping it like that. And I'm just like taking my vape. See how it goes through the shirt?
Yeah.
And I'm able to breathe it in and out.
Yep.
How effective is it really?
Well, the spores are probably thicker than the vape smoke. The particles of spores are potentially bigger. And I would think you'd be smart enough to, like, fold the cloth maybe once or twice so that it's a little thicker than just a polo shirt. But who knows? Yeah. Do you not want advantage? Because I can take away the advantage if you want. I'm perfectly
No, it's
happy
fine.
doing that.
I'm just testing it for myself is all. I got a 16 anyway.
Yes, I know, but you'd have a couple more poisoned members of the party.
That's true.
As Luna casts Lesser Restoration on me, I kind of cough out a thank you as I press on.
Okay. Luna, you're waiting
Careful.
until you're past the mold to cast Lesser Restoration, or you're doing it while you're moving through it?
No,
Okay.
when we're past, so he doesn't get infected again.
Okay.
Smart.
So
put that on.
Mirth, I'll have you. I need you to. By the time you pass through all of the mold, you'll probably take another 5 points of poison damage because it is continuous. You're continuously taking the damage. So before Luna casts the Lesser Restoration, you take about another 5 points of poison damage before she finally heals you of the poison.
Does that put you under half health? Jesus.
Yeah, it will.
Do you
And
need
I
some help?
will. Yeah, I don't want to burn through all of your spells though. I have healing, but it's not as powerful as yours.
I'll cast Cure Wounds at level 1.
Thank you so much.
Be careful.
I will.
I'd like to head to the edge of the sort of the part of the cave where it's sort of that's narrowing, and just look down over the ledge.
Okay.
And just using my rapier pointing down, can I see how far
Oh.
down the ledge is?
Nice.
Oh, dang, thank you so much. 14, that's crazy.
Nice. Okay, so you move to the narrower area, and the cavern wall is on your left, and this ledge is on your right where you're standing, and you kind of turn to it and lower your blade so you can see over the edge of it, and you see that it drops probably about 15-20 feet down. About like one person holding another person could probably lower them down almost all the way to the bottom, but they'd be hanging off the edge of the ledge, if that makes sense. And then they can drop them down like a foot or two to reach the bottom.
And are there more spores on the floor below?
As you look at the floor below, you actually see almost like a thick forest of mushrooms.
Jesus
Not
Christ,
spores,
they're
and not
everywhere.
these moldy spores, but like literally like a forest of mushrooms of varying size. Some that are so big that the crowns of them are as high as the ledge itself that you are on, where you would literally be walking under them like trees.
Dang.
One thing is for certain: whatever is causing all of these things to grow is probably down here.
And as you've
Should
moved
we-
up to this
Stay on the
more narrow area, you can kind of see forward that this narrow path, this shoulder-to-shoulder path, continues forward, and there is a degradation to the ground moving ahead, and there's also a path off to your immediate left. Or not immediate left, but there's a path off to the left up ahead. A couple paths off to the left, actually.
just going to turn back to Visir and give a sort of grin and just go, would you prefer to lower me down, or would you like to go first? You are probably a bit more nimble than I am.
I'll go ahead and go first, and I'll toss up a rope to you guys.
Okay. Give me a moment to switch you over. I think it's about time that we use this to kind of give you more of a sense of what's going on.
Careful, Vizier.
I always am, with my body anyway. Not necessarily with my words.
Can confirm.
All right, you're going to see a whole lot of dark because this map is very, very big. So just you're going to have to zoom out a little bit until you can see the illuminated area.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So we're like here.
I will point out where you are for you. You're like here.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
push more.
That's so Angus, where you are, those are the stairs that led up to the mining camp. That's the mining camp right here.
Dang, this map is enormous.
That is the mining camp here. And then you are in this area. This is the area where it narrows here. And you kind of see the ledge down. And
All right. May I roll an acrobatics check to see if I can get down there safely?
you may, yes, may make an acrobatics check to see if you can get down there safely. As you can see, there, like I said, there's this degradation to the ground that moves, that is over this way, along with these two kind of branching paths off. You may or may not have been able to see that far, but Luna, you have dark vision, so with the aid of Angus's blade, you definitely would be able to see that down there and tell them about it. Okay?
Okay. Guys, there's a passage up ahead. You don't want to check it out?
We've got multiple passages to check out, really.
This one here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd probably be a good idea to, at the very least, secure a way so that we can get up and down this ledge here, so that we can continue on here when necessary.
DM, is there a lot less spores here? Just
Where?
to be sure.
There's none of that spores growth like that. The growth of those spores here, I'll give you a little that yellow mold was all like up to here in this area. Can you see that?
No. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was all in this area here.
Okay.
There you go. It's kind of a really, really crappy representation of the spores, but it gives you an idea of the area.
At least we know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yes.
Would this here be something that we could possibly tie a rope around to allow us to climb back up the
Sure.
ledge?
That's
later
probably
on
a
if we need
rock.
to?
We can call that a rock.
Great.
Do you need some rope? I still have mine.
I've got a rope I can toss up to you guys. Move over here and toss one up to them. I assume a 21 in acrobatics will allow me to
Yeah,
hop
absolutely.
down there without much of an issue.
Yep. You kind of slide, kind of tumble your way down so that you land on your feet. And they can
Up, up.
usually toss a rope
Ha!
down to you. Let's see. The drag marks, by the way, continue this way.
Oh. We're
Alright, I'll,
following the drag marks. We're following the drag marks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We'll
I
come
don't
back
think
here
we
in a
need.
minute.
Yeah.
So I toss the rope up to them before making my way down here a little bit, just to make sure ain't nothing gonna be down here to surprise us.
Okay. Do you have
Is it catch the other end of the rope and tie it around with a sturdy sailor's knot that should hold for us climbing back up, and then abseil down.
Okay. It's actually really difficult to get a sense of scale for me with this map at times, because it's so huge. Alright. So I'm going to give you an aura for your light source, so I know what to reveal, because I've not yet unlocked the features.
The dynamic lighting is
dynamic lighting
the biggest
features.
thing to master. I still don't know how to use it all that well, so.
Alright. So it's 15 feet of bright and 15 feet of dim, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Oh, that's not it. There you go. Let's do that. Sorry, I'm just trying to make it as visible as possible.
So getting to about there, does the trail continue on straight down the path, or does it take the turning to the left?
All right. That makes it a lot easier. I can do this now. Let me just reveal some more of the map for you. There you go. That helps a lot.
Alright, yeah, so which way do the drag marks continue in?
Let's see. The drag marks have come down this way. That's what you see. Does that help?
Yeah.
All right. It would still probably be a decent idea if we made sure that any other passageways doesn't have anything sort of lurking around waiting to ambush us.
Agreed. You want to
So at
check this
least
little
just-
side one?
Duck into each one and see if it.
How
Sort of,
quiet are you
dead
all
ends fairly
being,
quickly.
by the way?
I'd say we're whispering to each other.
Okay. Give me
While moving, I have disadvantage on stealth checks.
Okay. Give me and Luna, you're getting a little low, hard to hear again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have disadvantage on stealth checks.
Okay. Good to know.
Fine.
Alright, should we check this one to the side first then?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Right.
Luna stays about 10 feet away from you guys, so she doesn't reveal your location.
Yeah,
because of her...
give me some stealth rolls if you're trying to move quietly through.
Should I roll at disadvantage again because I'm still carrying the light source?
This is to see if they noticed you before your light source entered into this room. So, no, just give me your
This is the
just give me
they.
your stealth roll.
All right,
The
fantastic.
person in the heavy armor is the stealthiest out of all of us so far. Oh my god.
Amateurs.
Luna Vala, master burglar.
To be entirely fair, does Vasir strike you as the stealthy type?
While talking, no. So...
Let's see what you got for rolls. Vasir, you're quiet. Mirth, you're Mirth. Let's see. You got a 14 stealth. We got a 15 stealth and a 14. Okay. So you move into this area ahead of you. You are moving as quietly as possible, but of course with your light out, you're not moving as invisible as possible, but as quietly as possible. And when you move into this area, you let's see. You move into this area and you see these huge mushrooms fill this place. And I mean fill it. There are at least 2 of them that are absolutely huge. The biggest mushrooms you've ever seen. And you move into this area, and you just hear the sound of dripping, and this quiet eeriness. It fills this area.
I think we should head back.
No, we haven't explored the entire place yet. Gotta make sure.
There's so many
Somebody's
mushrooms here.
lurking in the back.
Well, we're gonna end up having to destroy some things down here. I'm betting. So
I'll follow the zero up.
All right. Let me reveal a little more of
Luna
this.
follows a bit reluctantly.
ahead and give a perception check to see if I can find anything that might be like moving.
No.
Not around these giant mushrooms.
Roll initiative.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Everybody roll initiative.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Make sure
yeah.
you click on your token when you roll initiative so it adds you to the initiative order. And
26, Jesus Christ, dude.
I have a +9 to initiative.
Oh,
can any of you not be surprised?
Me. I have the alert
Uh,
feat.
You are unable
I'll-
to be surprised, Vasir. You took the alert feat.
Correct.
Okay.
yeah, I think me too. Let me make sure.
Well, if you have the alert feat, you should also have a +5 to your initiative.
No, never
I think
mind.
he has the observant feat.
I took the observant. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, then.
All right. Let's let me switch up something here. Switch up some sound.
Vizier 26. Damn.
Well, I took
That's
the
a
active
+9.
feat, so whatever's coming, I can do some improv, and maybe that'll scare them off.
Yes.
That's also a possibility, yes.
Uh,
We do our own little
Morgan.
round of who's on first.
I'm still in the dim light back here. I did not approach.
No, you did not. All right. Vasir, in spite of your imperceptiveness,
I do sense danger.
you sense danger before it comes your way, and you instinctively act.
Now, where am I sensing the danger coming from? This direction?
Yes.
Ah.
Wow.
Whoa!
The huge mushroom in front of you begins to... You sense its movements before they actually happen.
As soon as I sense the movements of the giant mushroom in front of me, I immediately lash out. We're gonna go ahead and pull one of these combos off. He's gonna go ahead and take his quarterstaff out, swing it, try and strike it, and then use it as a boost to sort of give a double kick up to it.
Okay.
So it's gonna be one of these, unfortunate, and then one of these, and then one of these.
Okay. You make your attacks against it. Your quarterstaff misses the giant mushroom, but plants itself into the ground next to it, and your bicycle kicks slam into the base of the thing, and you hear it groan from the strikes that you make against it.
Found the danger.
Let's see, that's 8 and 6, so that's 15. All right, you plant 2 solid blows to the base of this mushroom, and Angus, you are just completely shocked by the sounds coming out of this mushroom, and at first you're like, what the hell is Vasir doing? Why is he attacking one of these things? And
I was going to say that Agus probably looks across to Vizier like, now's not the best time to be practicing a card at, and then when he hits it, the noise goes off, and he's just like, what the?
Yeah.
Looking up like, ah!
So at the end of your action, you are no longer surprised. Mirth, you have a similar reaction to what is going on. Just completely shocked that this thing responded to Vasir's attack, and you are no longer surprised. And then Luna, you can clearly see what's going on ahead of you, and are bringing up the rear. And you know what? I need to add a little party member to the initiative order. Keep forgetting about Sharp-Eyed, who would be back here as well. And let's add initiative for him. Okay. And then it is the mushroom's turn.
Oh shit.
The first one is going to slam at the creature that just attacked it. And misses. Because you were not surprised, so it does not have advantage. So it misses the strike. The slam comes down, and Vasir, you just kind of hop over its attack.
We got some big boys here.
The one behind you strikes out at you as well. Oh, I guess I would have flanking against you, wouldn't I?
True.
I guess you would have been hit by the first one then. So the first one actually hits you with a 25 and deals 20 points of bludgeoning damage to you as its fist slams into you.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
The one behind you attempts to bottleneck the situation and attacks as well, slamming at you with its pummeling fists and deals... it rolls a 17 to hit you.
That matches my AC.
Okay, so it deals another 14 points of bludgeoning damage to you.
All right. The seer is down.
Good lord.
Because that is 47 points of damage right there.
Yeah.
37, should
37.
which is more than his max HP.
Well, yeah. The first one got really lucky with its damage roll.
Monks are not tanks.
And now Sharp-Eyed is also no longer surprised. Go ahead, make your death save.
That's gonna be one failure.
Oof. Angus, the mushrooms are looming over you, menacingly.
Okay, screw it. Just gonna lash out with my rapier at the one that I'm facing at the moment.
Okay. You lash out with your rapier and strike the huge mushroom before you. And it just kind of nicks at it. But you see a line kind of scrape across it as you do. Is that 18 points of damage with the sneak attack?
Sneak attack wouldn't apply.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Because Visir's down, so
Okay.
he can't really be threatening it.
No, he cannot.
So,
Alright, so...
so
you
then I'm
strike it
going
for
to
11.
disengage
Sure.
and fire off a great bolt at disadvantage.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, could I disengage and then fire off the great bolt at the one that's to the side? Because then it wouldn't be a disadvantage because it would be
of course you can.
moving. So
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely. Ooh, nicely done.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So you deal 15 points of damage as you're of necrotic energy that blasts out of your hand as you disengage and kind of flip back and sneak behind your companions.
Yeah, just gonna duck back to make sure that Luna's got room to run in and just be like, Cleric! Little help! Run down!
Medic! Mirth.
Luna, do you have Vasir?
Yes, go ahead.
Alright, then in that case, I will use Bardic Inspiration on Angus. I'm gonna back up. And then I will use... So Angus, that's a d6 on attack, check, or save. And then I will use Vicious Mockery on this fungus. So that's a DC 14 Wisdom save.
DC 14 Wisdom save for Vicious Mockery. Point to the mushroom again that you were attacking.
This one.
Okay. All right. It fails its wisdom save, and how much damage does it take?
It will take 1d4 points of psychic. Oh, so 2, and disadvantage on the next weapon attack it makes.
Okay. All right. So you pass off you give inspiration to your ally, and fire off your mouth as this mushroom suddenly feels incredibly taken aback by your by your words, and Luna, it's your action.
Okay, if I come here, can I drag Vizier? Or I'm supposed to come right here?
Oh no, you can be right next to Vizier. That's fine. You don't need to be in the same square as him.
Okay, Luna will come here.
Okay.
She'll cast Shield of Faith on herself, which
Okay.
will give her a plus to her AC.
Yep.
And she'll try to drag Vizier out of harm's way.
Okay. So you moved. Was that 15 feet forward?
Yeah.
Okay. So with dragging Vizier, you can move half your remaining movement dragging him. So one square back. You can move the both of you one square back.
So till here,
Correct.
I guess. And just like before, she'll be guarding him with her shield on.
Okay. You wouldn't move into Mirth's
Yelling to
square, would you?
Yelling to the rest of the group, "Get out!"
Okay.
Can I like step to the side or back if I see him going to drag Vizier?
Yeah, you guys can kind of squeeze into the same space momentarily, but you'll have to move out of that space in order to attack without having disadvantage, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so you and Luna, we'll do this for now. You guys switch spots, and she drags Vizier back. Okay.
If possible, can we switch positions between me and Vizier? Basically, she's guarding him.
Right. Well, yeah, that's fine. I will allow that. You kind of move there, and then you pull him back.
Yeah.
Behind you.
Nice.
That's fine. So, Mirth, you're essentially standing over Vizier, is what's going on. She kind of pushes Vizier behind her to where you're standing, and you kind of hop up and are standing over his body, essentially.
Cool.
All right. The mushrooms approach as best they can. And they're both going to strike out at Luna.
Shit.
Okay. All right. The creatures slam their kind of pseudopod-like fists into you, Luna. That's going to be a 24 to hit and a 14 to hit.
The first one is.
Okay. So the first of them strikes at you, but the second one you put yourself out of its way, out of the path of its blow. And you're going to take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as the first one slams.
And I'll use cutting words to reduce that damage by 5, so he only takes 9.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it had. Oh, even with disadvantage, does a 19 hit you?
No.
Okay.
Oh, in that case, can I use the cutting words on the attack roll instead to make it miss?
Oh no, he misses.
A 19 would miss because that one had disadvantage, correct? Because
Yeah.
this one here has disadvantage,
okay.
right? So
yeah,
Yes.
this one had disadvantage.
it actually misses. I apologize. I forgot it had disadvantage. This
awesome.
one missed.
Alright. Oh, let's go.
This one
I
missed.
didn't
So
have to
you
use
have
my
your cutting words
inspiration.
back, and Luna, you've taken no damage.
Oh, I love vicious mockery.
Yeah, when it works,
She's
it
like-
works really, really well.
It does.
Okay,
She's
so
like screaming for the rest of the team to get out of the passage. No, to retreat till here at least.
okay,
No need to fight it.
your lizard folk ally moves to the side to help Luna help you protect the rest of the party as you get them to move out, and it's going to take a couple of swings at this giant mushroom that's before you, and it's going to hit with the first one, and actually critically hit with its first attack, dealing 11 points of damage to it, but misses with its second attack. His second attack. Sharp-eyed is proficient, but this thing is moving and flailing in odd ways.
Does it look hurt? Or
What's that?
not really? Does it look that it's hurt or not?
Oh,
really?
it's looking pretty beat up. There are huge chunks of mushroom that have been cut and battered off of this thing.
Okay.
Give me another death save, Vizier. Succeed this time.
I mean, I'll try, and I'll fail.
You have failed twice. Angus?
God.
Just going
Come on, Vizier,
to
don't-
ready my hand crossbow and back up down the corridor a little.
Okay.
Sorry, I just got refresh roll 20. It's being weird with me.
No problem. Sorry for the delay. We are waiting for our party member to refresh roll 20.
So from there, then go take the hand crossbow shot. And if it hits, I will get the sneak attack damage because Luna is.
Yes.
Nice.
So yeah, you fire off a hand crossbow bolt, and it connects really well.
Then I'm
might I
going
add.
to flatten myself against this wall with my back to it, crossbow like ready to duck back around the corner again next turn. And I'm going to use a cunning action to hide and hope these things have terrible eyesight.
Okay. And left or right? Which myconin or which mushroom did you hit? The one on that one. Okay.
The right.
Thank you.
Does it have disadvantage on attacks or?
No. Mirth, it is your action.
Alright, I'll use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on the Seer.
Okay.
And he wakes up to the sound of me saying, "Get up, there's not enough drummers in the world." You know, cast Healing Word for Jesus Christ, 5 hit points, but you're up.
Okay, 5 is more than 0.
And then I'll move up next to Luna, and then I will. Alright, I'm gonna. I pull my flute out from my belt and then snap my wrist as it unfolds into a long bone blade, and then I murmur quickly as it erupts with fire, and I take a slash at the mushroom
Excellent.
with the green flame blade. And make it a weapon attack.
Your blade erupts with green fire, but unfortunately, as you slash forward, the mushroom creature kind of quickly backs away from the fire in fear, and you just miss it.
GG. Alright, that's it for me.
Okay. Luna, it is back to you, as Mirth has stepped up next to you and taken a swing and healed Vasir. Vasir is conscious and kind of slowly getting up. What are you going to do?
I'll cast Toll of the Dead on this one, since I suppose I can't get out, right?
Can you what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, never mind. I'll just cast Toll of the Dead on this one.
Okay. This one?
The one on the left.
Okay. Sorry, for some reason I couldn't see your original ring. Okay. That thing is gonna have to make a wisdom save, correct? Wisdom save.
Yeah. Yeah.
It fails its wisdom save and takes the 5 points of damage.
Yeah. And I shout out to Vizier to get out of this cavern. To retreat, basically.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
And to Mirth also.
Okay.
To both of them to get out.
As you shout to retreat, the huge mushrooms level their attacks against the party. The first one is going to attack you, Luna, and it rolls a 10 to hit. So obviously, you are just much faster than it and can get your defenses up as it slams its fist down. The other one, seeing this this strangely green flaming sword that is before it, will just lash out in fear at the creature holding it. Rolls a 15 to hit you, Mirth.
That would hit, except I cast. Ooh. Yeah, I'll cast Shield.
Okay. And it rebounds off of the arcane barrier that you put between it and yourself. Hearing you call the others, kind of give the call to retreat and motioning for everybody to get out of the cavern, Sharp-Eyed will take the disengage action and move out back to where Angus is and into the light. Vasir?
Doing what I'm told.
Okay.
Scramble to my feet, head over to here, and I guess while I'm doing that, I might as well toss a dart at this guy here.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the hit. That'll definitely hit.
Oh, nice.
It cries out in this weird modulating sound as you hit it with the dart, and the dart embeds itself deep into one of the eyes of this creature, the strangely luminescent eye. Angus.
Okay, Angus is going to dig around in his pack and one of the flasks of oil that he has for his lanterns. Just double checking the exact wording. One moment.
All right.
So this is, as an action, you can splash the oil in this flask onto a creature within 5 feet or throw it up to 20 feet, shattering it on impact. So I'm going to step so I'm within 20 feet of range and throw the flask of oil at this one here.
Okay. And it'll spread oil in a 20-foot radius from there?
I think it just covers the single target.
Okay.
Yeah, on a hit, the target is covered in oil, and then if it takes any fire damage before the oil dries after 1 minute, the target takes an additional 5 fire damage from the burning oil.
Okay. Let's get a little icon then.
So I need to make a ranged attack,
Go for it.
treating the oil as an improvised weapon.
Give me your attack roll.
Right.
That will definitely hit, covering the thing in oil.
So seeing the sort of clay flask shatter against it and the viscous oil start to drip down, just gonna sort of look across towards Mirth to go, light it up! And then I'm going to take the dash action and fire off a grave bolt at the other mushroom creature as I duck back into cover.
Excellent. The Great Bolt strikes, dealing the 8 points of necrotic damage to it. And you see it shudder as you slam, your bolt slams into it. Mirth.
Alright, I sneer as Angus runs back, and then I will cast Hex on this one.
Okay.
And I clench my fist, and like a ghostly streak of black smoke pours from it to give a crescendo, like it kind of howls and then circles around the mushroom. And then I will cast Green Flame Braid as my action, and it's a cantrip to attack the same one.
All right. Sounds great.
There we go. That's more like it.
As you
So I have a hand free, so I guess I might as well go for the two-handed.
Sure. You grip your sword with both hands, and it ignites with green fire once more, and you plunge it towards the mushroom creature before you. And as your blade slams home, the smoke swirling about it from your hex erupts.
Hex damage too.
Erupts
Nice, 16
into
total.
the green flame and consumes the creature, who clearly was afraid of the odd fire that you had already launched at it, and it withers and shrieks with an odd modulating sound that fills the cavern, and it withers and falls dead before you.
Sick. And here's the fun part. A plume of fire leaps from my blade to deal 4 fire damage to the one within 5 feet of it, which would also trigger the oil to explode.
So, yep, it would be 9 damage total.
And as the oil explodes, you hear the similar shriek come from this giant mushroom, and it also withers and falls to the ground in flame.
Hey.
Badass moment.
Yeah, for real, dang.
Mirth, you stand staring at the blade and the power before you as it kind of just erupts out of you, and you wonder what dark power has come into being within you as you've gained possession of this weapon. Or has it gained possession of you? And if you don't mind, gentlemen, we will take a short break after that.
Sounds good to me. I need to grab some.
Okey-doke.
Seer almost dies yet again.
Yet again. That's what happens when you're a frontline monk, man.
Zero, what's your AC?
17.
Okay, we are back. So, you had just taken down these giant mushrooms in this room. Some of you are in worse condition than others. Where do you go from here, gentlemen?
I think only Vizier took damage. Or
Yeah.
anybody else.
Yep.
That I know of.
Yeah, I'm fine. I have 2 hit points from earlier, but that's nothing. Let's see.
Vizier, do you need us to take a short rest?
I can appreciate it. I got really rocked by those things.
You need to be more careful.
Well,
Not the first time.
careful isn't usually my modus operandi, but I'll do what I can. I'm used to things not being able to just destroy me like that.
If you want, I should lead next time. And you can have my back.
Well, I guess we could do it like that.
Well, yeah, let's set up something here then.
While this is going on, you notice Angus has walked over to the corpse of one of the mushrooms and is just carving a piece of it off, packing it away into his pack.
I kind of ignore him as I walk by, but I give him a thumbs up and a nod.
I'm not sure what exactly you plan on doing with that thing, but
You're really not sure? I'm gonna smoke it.
it might not be the best idea.
Yeah, but I ran out of tobacco, so.
So just any port in a store?
Giant
Like,
summoner.
You're honestly telling me you've never had mushrooms?
not ones that we know tend to zombify people, no.
Well, the fungus is back that way. I mean, these are just mushrooms, as far as I can tell.
Aren't mushrooms fungus?
Yes.
I don't know, like, what kind of book learning did you do at your monastery? I mean, I'm just a humble sailor.
Look, they've already tried to kill us. I'm sure they won't do it again. Alright, and I'll move towards the back
I don't
of the cave
recommend
and
it,
try
but
and
alright.
scope it out. I'll try and see if there's anywhere we can set up a relatively safe camp.
Mirth, do you have
No, we could head back to the miners' camp that we came across.
dark vision, Mirth?
I do have dark vision.
Okay. All right. So in total darkness, it would be like dim light, but you're standing in the dim light, so you can see out a fair distance from there. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So is that like an actual door?
Yeah, that is an actual door, and it is open. And you can kind of see a little bit into that room beyond it.
Alright. I'll call out and let them know. When you're ready, I found something back here, and then I'll just continue and immediately proceed inside.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
The door is rotted, and covered in mushrooms, like everything else. This barrier that's here, this kind of wall, is just it's like a mining wall, like an old wooden, made of old wood, that's just kind of been nailed into a frame, and it is also incredibly weak and moldy, dank.
Can I like kick through it instead of going through the door?
Kick through the wall. It might take you like a minute or so, but yeah, you can like start kicking pieces out of the wall.
Right. In the entrance of my curiosity, I'll pry the door open with my sword.
Okay. Inside you find you find an old you find the bedroom of the encampment of what was probably the overseer of the mine. It's got a nicer bedroll that's still musty and dank and wet, and and there's kind of a makeshift desk, some boxes and things like that all in this area. Most of it's just kind of old and moldy and destroyed. Overgrown with the lichen and fungi that you've seen throughout the cave.
Alright. How does the desk look? Can I take a look inside?
Yeah, you go to open the drawer to the desk and it just kind of like falls off the desk itself.
Nice.
You find a big red gem inside of the drawer.
I'm no expert, so I'll just tuck that into my pockets for later.
Okay.
Monsieur, did you go in? Or
Yeah, I'm following in.
Okay.
He mentioned he's found a place, so I'm gonna head over here.
Luna, your lizard folk friend will stay with you and kind of watch where you're at, or kind of watch the entrance to this cavern that you found.
Yeah.
Angus, sort of taking an assessment of the room, is going to spot this passage right here
Okay.
and sort of reason that it probably connects back into the passage we're through and just follow it down. Stand guard at the end of that passage as well.
All right. Move your token there. So.
I'm gonna say, while staying here, she'll be checking her shoulder before they come back.
Okay. Your lizard folk friend there will take a vested interest in what you're doing.
While we're sort of taking a little bit of a break here, and I see Mirth just sort of like rummaging around, seeing what he can do, and Lunas and Angus are just kind of off, making sure that there's nothing else coming up after us. Vazir's just kind of like, take his bedroll out and just put it down so he can have a seat. He's gonna look to Mirth. Hey, Mirth. We've known each other for, I want to say like a little bit longer than that. We've been traveling for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a week, I think.
About a week.
It has been about a week. You're taking a short rest here, correct? Is that
Yes.
right? Okay.
Oh, and I'll short rest too. I'll short rest with him too while I look around.
Okay.
Just a question. Have you ever, I don't know, had interest in relationships before?
Oh, yeah, plenty. Not really much time to go after them, but passing interest.
Right.
Why do you ask?
Right. Oh, well, I was just wondering, like, I've never really been in one myself, but I'm just kind of curious, if I were to be interested in a person, what would be the right thing to do?
That is a great question. And it really depends on the person, and it depends on what you feel comfortable with and what you think they'd like. I suggest, if you don't know them well, get to know them very well. I don't have the best gauge of that because I've known you longer for the time I've known plenty of my own siblings. But approach them, talk to them, just get to know them. I figure that's the most important thing. And if I ever had the chance, I would just go for it. You live once. Unlike our friend over there.
I mean, that's a thing, but like, how does one go for it? Exactly. I think I'm not really getting through to you the fact that I have been, for basically my entire life, I've been living in a place with a bunch of old people who just keep telling me like ways in order to think about things and martial arts, and that's about it. So my ability to connect with people is spotty at best. I don't know if that's been made clear enough.
Oh yeah, no, it's plenty clear. You don't need to make it clearer for me.
Um,
But I figure just keep doing what you're doing. You're a direct person, and I'm sure that's appealing to a lot of people. So
right.
I figure if you're gonna pursue it, then go for it how you would, and that's what you'll feel best in.
Okay. Well, hmm, hmm. It just worries me because I know that my directness can be a little off-putting at times. Um, and I really don't want to scare them away.
Yeah, I understand that. But honestly, I think you're great. I've only known you for a week, which is a pretty generous sum of time in at least my own living. And you're definitely something, and it's been a pleasure traveling with you. And I'm sure to anyone who you're looking for, it's going to be a pleasure for them being with or around you.
I think so.
I think so. It's been a pleasure for me.
All right. Well, I'll see what I can do about that. Taking that advice to heart.
You do that.
He'll just sort of lean back and think to himself for a little while.
Luna, as you're standing there, guard, the Sharp-Eyed kind of points a kind of knobby green finger in the direction of your shoulder. Gives you a questioning look.
She'll just smile back. And she won't say a thing.
The creature shrugs and looks back out in the darkness. He points to where the drag marks are and nods in their direction.
And if the short rest is over, she calls to the rest of the group that we should head out. Can you hear me, by the way?
I'm
Yep.
ready to move when you guys are. And before I leave the cabin thing, I'll kind of look over Vasir and say, "Hey, you said you're from a monastery, right?
Yeah, mostly. I
Do you
mean, I wasn't
you
for the first
have
like year of my life, but
do you have anything from it?
not much. Just my clothes. The staff has actually been with me since I left. Everything else I've just kind of picked up over time. You see, I travel around a lot, and I try not to get into fights with humans too much. So there's been a couple times when I've been mugged, and I don't really want to fight if it's not necessary. So I just kind of like give them what I have.
That's one way of doing it. Do you mind if I take just a little snip of your cloth?
I guess not. You can go ahead and have a little bit, I guess, so long as it doesn't, take the whole thing apart.
I'll kind of rip a short, like maybe 2-inch ribbon of cloth from a piece of, preferably like a shirt or something, something that wouldn't make it too annoying, and knot it around one of my horns.
Oh, it's like for one of those. Well, I don't think we worshipped a particular god, though I myself was sort of directed in the sense of maybe thinking that the sun itself and the sun god might be my best choice. After all, the sun is bright, I'm bright, brings a smile to everyone's face. It's what I do, so we just kind of like go together like that.
Mirth kind of chuckles and walks off towards Luna as he says, "These aren't all for gods, they're memories." And I kind of pull down one collar of my shirt, and there's like a massive burn across my collarbone. And then I wink at him and walk off.
He just sort of looks after you like, Jesus.
All right. Hey, Luna.
Hey.
You move out.
Can I walk to here and just observe this area if I see
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
I'll kind of loop around here and collect Angus.
Oh,
I guess you're moving towards Luna.
Yeah, just recognizing that we look like we're ready to start heading off. Just gonna meet back up, decide if we're gonna start following the trail.
All right. You peer ahead.
she has dark vision toward 60 feet, I guess. I'm not sure how you want to calculate it.
Pardon me. Excuse me. I'm so sorry about that.
Coronavirus!
Okay. So Luna has dark vision for 60 feet.
Yeah.
So you can see out pretty far. Okay. That should give you a good idea of what Luna can see. You peer out into this mushroom forest before you and the various densities of the mushrooms. There's some luminosity that, but not enough to even give like dim light off. Mostly it reacts to the Angus's blade kind of reflecting the light back into the room. And you can see many of these mushrooms grow taller even than you are. But you see out into this cavern below, and there's just stillness, odd, eerie stillness, and kind of a low hanging, almost like a mist kind of moving amongst the mushrooms, no higher than the sole of your boot.
Can I find a rock somewhere around me?
Sure.
So she picks a rock, casts light on it, and
Okay.
throw it in this direction to see if something and
This direction, or
this direction,
okay.
and to see if anything moves, basically.
Okay. You throw it down there, and yeah, something scurries.
We all see this, right?
Yeah.
Was it like small, like a rat or like a spider, or was it like a dog or?
That's not the right. It was like something. I say scurries, but kind of darts a little bit. It was the thing that moved out of your field of vision was definitely about the size of a halfling, or maybe a little bigger. Actually, a little bigger than a halfling. Maybe like 4 foot tall, if you could guess. It blended into the environment pretty well too. You just kind of saw it move as the light hit the ground.
Did anybody see that?
Yeah, I did. The little guy running. What's the move? Should we just advance?
I mean, they already know we're here. So how
That's
about
a
we
good-
call out?
That's a good point. Alright.
Just call out and see what happens. And Luna calls out, "Hello?"
Sort of like hear that they're doing stuff and start making my way towards them.
You call out hello and nothing responds.
She tries one more time in Elvish.
Still no response to you.
I'll step up and say, "Hey, look, we know you're in there." And then if nothing happens, I'll repeat it again in Undercommon and then Deep Speech.
You keep calling out, and after a little while, as you're calling out, something does respond to you, not verbally. By the way, I will draw the kind of track mark of this drag for you, so you can see it. Something does step out. Into the light. It is a 4.5, 5 foot tall mushroom person. This mushroom person raises a hand and waves you to move closer.
You guys got my back?
Of course. And I'll pull out my flute.
Cautiously, Luna approaches.
Okay.
Right behind you.
So how far from it are you at this point?
10 feet?
Okay. It raises its arms, and gives you like a pleading look, and it releases these floaty kind of white spores into the air, and they're kind of wafting towards you slowly. And it
You
kind
mean
of...
like the previous spores, or this is...
No, these are different. The previous spores were this like yellow green, this and
Okay.
choking, and these kind of waft through the air gently. Do you step back at all?
I do not.
Do any of you?
I'm gonna wince and kind of. I'll be ready to move.
All right.
I'm pretty confident that even if this is poison, it can't really hurt me, so I'll take a couple of steps closer.
All right. The spores waft over you, and as you breathe them in, you hear in your mind, greetings, travelers. Greetings. Do you mean us harm?
Who are you?
I am Glublub. I am
Then who is
one
us?
of the hunters.
You have friends?
Oh yeah, many friends. They are here around me. You do not see them because they do not want to be seen, but they are here.
Do you have big friends? And I kind of raise my hand up to try and indicate the height of the mushrooms before.
The Zerkwood Guardians, yes. We have those. They protect our lands. The advanced ones, they warned us of your coming. You are a danger. You destroyed them.
Well, to be fair, they came at us first.
They tried to destroy my friend over here.
Others,
They did almost kill me.
Others have come and meant us harm. Our sovereign made the Zerkwood there to warn us of others coming. You destroyed them, but you approached us with caution.
You did not try to kill us on sight.
They are mindless creatures. They know only to protect.
And attack.
This is how they guard.
That's fair. Listen, if you're capable of being reasoned with, then we're not really interested in fighting.
Were you in the circle of spores, Vasir, as it hit?
I was kind of coming up behind them. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, then when you entered the circle, it would have released more. If you had seen that it was not dangerous.
Hearing what this mushroom person is saying, Luna approaches and takes a knee in front of it. Does it have a hand?
It does.
Okay, so she gently tries holding its hand and in a very calming voice tells it that we mean it no harm. We're just looking for our friend and a priest, an old person, an old human. And she tries to describe him as quickly as possible.
It's nodding to you. Yes, we know of these people that you speak of. The old one, he took the other one to the place deeper in the caves. We do not go there.
Can you lead us there, at least?
You will come with us first. The sovereign will want to speak with you.
I mean,
What does he want?
our friend might be in danger. I'm not sure we have much time.
Danger. Yes, this may be true. Your friend may be in danger. We can take you. We can show you the way to the place. If you think there's trust between us.
You didn't attack us on sight? I'd reckon this is a pretty good form of trust.
We will lead you where you need to go to find your friend, but afterwards, you must speak with the sovereign. It is truly not my place to simply allow you passage through our fields. But I understand your need for haste.
We appreciate your understanding. Do we have an agreement, friends?
I'm fine with that, yeah. Any sort of peaceful way through is fine with me.
She nods at the mushroom.
Follow me. And you begin to follow.
Yeah.
The creature leads you. Glub will take you the way. Let me reveal the path that you are taken down. Just gonna reveal the whole path before we move down it. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's one big cave.
So, in spite of the fact that you have light that would see beyond this path, you really can't see much past it because of the denseness of the mushrooms that are here. And based on the path, the drag marks you're seeing, it seems that whoever dragged your friend through here did it in a way that there was an open path amongst these mushrooms, and so you can't see through the thickness of this mushroom forest. There's just too much denseness beyond where your light is shining. And it leads the mushroom folk lead you kind of to this opening further down beyond the mushroom forest. And I will open that up to you.
Is there any sign of struggle on the tracks? Meaning, any sign, perhaps, of life from debris?
Yeah, there's a sign of. There's one moment where, like, there are a few places where there's, like, it looks like he was kicking as he was being dragged.
Okay.
It's actually.
While we're walking, would it be possible to sort of ask Moncloak and say, one of our friends that we came here for, he came here sort of against his will. We think he was kidnapped. You didn't happen to see who took him? Short guy, bad temper?
Yes, he was dragged by the one you say, the older human. That's kind of, that opening up there is where he takes you. So if you go ahead and move to the end of that path there, I will reveal more to you.
Sort of having heard that it looks like Shepard might have been the person who's kidnapped Gerard, Angus just sort of quietly mutters to himself under his breath, note to self, kick the priest in the nuts again.
Do you mind if I take point from here on out?
Go for it.
All right, so we have 3 of you there. Where's your 4th companion? Vasir, you want to move your token over there? I gotcha. The mushroom folk. Where'd Vasir go? Oh, there he is.
There we go.
The mushroom folk, he points up this slope that's ahead of you, and says, "Your friend is up there beyond that barrier. We do not go there."
Luna gets down on its level and smiles and says, "Thank you for your help."
You will return here when you are done, when you have recovered your companion. We will speak with you more then. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Sounds good.
Go in peace. And he fades back into the mushrooms.
Sort of as the group starts setting off, Angus is just striking idle conversation. So the mushrooms have a sovereign. I'm betting it's a princess.
Why a princess?
It's a mushroom kingdom.
So why not a king?
Princess of the Mushroom Kingdom? Come on!
I have no idea what you're talking about. No,
There's
clearly-
houses.
Clearly you didn't have that book in your monastery.
We didn't have many books in our monastery.
Which barrier was the mushroom man referring to? This one, okay.
Yeah, that one right there.
Right. Right. Everyone ready?
I guess so. I'm gonna go ahead and not be in the front this time.
Okay, Luna puts her shield in front of her and she starts walking.
All right. Move your pieces as you go.
When we get here, can she just look at this area if she sees anything?
Yeah. That area is very empty. Other than that same yellow mold all over the floor.
All of this area.
I will draw it for you where the yellow mold is. So the drag marks, first of all, do indeed continue past you into that barrier. And then the yellow mold is all along there.
Oh, ooh.
Like that. All the space inside that is yellow mold. That's kind of the border of where it is. There are mushrooms about inside that yellow mold as well, and the walls are covered in thick fungus. This fungus is much darker and slimier. Looks very similar to the cover of that tome.
Oh,
Right. There's something. Right. Luna, your call.
yeah, just writing it down. Okay, first, what kind of barrier is this?
It is a thick wooden barrier covered in all kinds of mushroom growth and fungus, with a thick wooden door bound with iron.
Is it possible to walk like this, or we,
Which way?
we have to just can you see the arrow?
I can't see your arrow. No.
Uh, and between the fungus.
Yes, there's a thin path between the fungus. You can walk there very slowly and carefully.
Okay, so I suppose carefully walking through there, making sure everyone's careful.
It looks like footprints and drag marks through the fungus right there as you approach this barrier.
Guys, we're getting closer.
As we approach the barrier, I reach down to my belt and kind of tap the holy symbol that I took from his office all those days ago.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you make your way slowly and cautiously to the door, and the door is fairly solid for what it is.
Can any one of you guys check it out? Inspect it? If it's locked, trapped.
Is anyone doing that?
Can anyone hear Vizier? I think he's talking, but we can't
Yeah,
hear him.
he might be
Terribly
talking. He
sorry.
seemed to have Oh.
I thought I had unmuted myself.
Just going to check the locking mechanism, see if it would be necessary to pick the lock, or considering that the wood's quite rotten, if we could maybe just pry it loose with a crowbar.
You could do either. It is locked. You could do either or.
Are we at risk of disturbing some of the spores that are growing around it, though, if we move it too much?
That's always a possibility.
I will try to pick it with my thieves' tools.
Okay. Give me a check.
Yeah, that's a nat one.
You begin to work the lock with your thieves' tools, and one of your picks jams in the lock and snaps off.
It's a steady, quiet stream of just cursing under his breath, just like, ah, son of...
Based on your expertise of lock picking, you are pretty sure that this will now be impossible to get open.
Okay, plan 2. Bring out the crowbar.
I kind of focus for a second and then stretch my hand out and let a beam of energy smash into it. And I'll just blast the door.
Nice. Okay.
I was about to suggest that Vizier might want to back away to not breathe in spores. Oh well.
You Eldritch blast the door. Vizier and Angus give me Constitution checks. The door explodes in a splinter of wood, and Angus, you have advantage on Constitution saves against poison. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so you are fine. Vizier, you are also fine. So you have gotten used to being present for these types of things, and the spores do not bother you so much as you had once expected them to.
All right, door solved.
You could have at least given us a little bit of a warning before you did that.
Where's the fun in that? You want to keep you on your toes, yeah?
Just
Why
goes
do
on
you got?
turn.
Listen, we're already in a place where I'm on my toes. Why do you have to add to the danger? That's my question.
Tippy
Just gonna turn a
toes.
look towards Visir and
Let's
just be
go.
like, I'm pretty sure we just had a conversation about you not rushing into dangerous situations.
I didn't rush into a dangerous situation. I came over here to look at the door. It's just a door. I was looking at it. I didn't even touch it. Then he decides I'm gonna explode the door and not tell you.
I don't see a door anymore, so it's no longer a problem. Let's go.
Rude.
When we go in, do we see anything?
Yeah. Yes, you do. So, Luna, you can see 60 feet out. So,
Yeah.
so that's what you see. Out past there, you can see that much of the room, and you see Dupree's body lying in a pool of blood in the center of the room. Probably we'll put him right here. There are mushrooms growing out of him and out of the pool of blood, and they are these black, veiny mushrooms. They are greasy and disturbing. And you see pustules rising off of his body.
That bastard.
Drawn on the ground around him in blood are those same symbols. This are writing similar to that was in his tome, in like a circle all around the body.
You should probably make sure he doesn't come back as
One of them. Alright, so burn it.
Again, Luna, can I again pick up a rock and throw it here? While casting light on it?
Yeah. You cast light and throw that deeper into the room. And nothing reacts to the presence of your light source. This room is empty other than old mining equipment that is rotted over, and the writing around him it's clear. Where he is clear, and around that writing is a circle of these greasy black mushrooms and this fungus, and you see mushrooms all throughout this room, all over the walls, other than but not on the floor. The floor itself is kind of carpeted by a thick rubbery moss, other than the spot where Dupree is, and everything inside of the circle of these black mushrooms.
Luna carefully approaches to here to get a better look.
Okay. The spongy ground beneath you yields to your feet, oddly and almost grotesquely. And the body of Dupree doesn't seem to move at all as you approach, as you look for signs of it becoming one of those zombified creatures that you had seen before. He just lies there in this pool of blood-drenched fungi.
Luna kneels next to the body. She's like, "Oh no," and tries to see if she can find any sign of life, or at least what happened to him. How was he killed?
His arms and legs are outstretched and bound with manacles that are deeply embedded in the stone. He's been stretched out, and he's been eviscerated. His innards are spread out in what look like an intentional pattern around him. You don't need to look to your cleric training to know that whatever happened here was ritualistic.
Yeah.
Some kind of dark ritual was performed, and Dupree was the sacrifice and source of its power.
She looks back to the group. Do you guys still have any more oil?
Yeah. I've got some. Pull out a flask, hand it over.
She tells them, "I think we should burn the body. I am not ready to fight an undead Dupree."
We should burn it too.
Ignoring the things that you're saying, because he does not understand your language, Sharp-Eyed moves into the circle and grabs Dupree's cutlasses and takes them.
Cutlasses?
His swords.
Here's short swords.
And he takes them, and he takes Dupree's whole sword belt, and he takes the whole sword belt and puts it over his shoulder and nods to all of you. The nod is not one that's saying, "I'm taking these." The nod kind of has a tilt to his head, as if he's both saying you should agree with him and asking permission, kind of a look.
I don't mind.
Angus sort of very serenely nods and, taking advantage of the fact that Sharp-Eye doesn't understand Common, goes, "He would have hated that."
He takes your tone of voice and your nod as agreement with his actions.
Well, let's send him off in the way he'd love to go off, and I'll pull a bottle of beer from my pack, and I'll douse the body, and then say, "Any last words?"
Before we set it alight, does anybody make anything out of these runes? I mean, this
Yeah,
isn't really my
Mark,
area, but
Can I check it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a history? Religion?
It would be a religion check.
Oh, I'll try that as well.
You
that's
guys
okay.
couldn't have read the book, right? You needed to use, you needed to cast comprehend language, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I cast it and then went crazy.
Yeah. No. You have no idea what kind of ritual was cast with these. You look at the way it's set up, you know it is some kind of dark ritual, only one that is only a ritual that would be evil in nature would be cast using death and blood like this. But beyond that, you're unsure of the language. You don't know the language. You're unsure of what the circle of mushrooms could mean. You don't know if this is something that is divine or arcane, or unholy. You just know that it is some kind of darkness. As you look upon it,
I still have comprehend languages, but I'm running low on spells, so maybe we want to do this on the way back.
You guys want to look around to see if there's a passage somewhere to continue while I prepare the body?
Sure.
She just prepares.
Take a look around.
Make it look more decent, perhaps.
I'm gonna like sidle over to the seer and say, hey, buddy, I know now's not the best time, but we don't have a lot of time, so scooch on over here and make yourself useful, right?
What do you need me to do?
Oh wait, I don't know that. Okay, sorry, that would be meta knowledge. I don't know that the seer is. Okay, my bad. Then I won't say that.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess while Luna's preparing the body, the other three of us will go check for any exits to the room.
Oh yeah, there's several exits to the room. Okay.
She paints, perhaps with his blood, a symbol of the Raven Queen on his forehead,
Okay.
I guess. And when she's done, she'll call out to the rest, letting them.
Okay. I just need a moment to pull up some information.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, wait, I forgot. Comprehend languages is a ritual.
It is a ritual, so you can spend time casting it if you want.
I mean, I guess while they're checking out the room, I'll sit down and begin casting it. We'll see if I have time to finish or not.
Alright, so you are casting Comprehend Languages, you prepare the body. The rest of you are kind of looking around this cavern, seeing what you can find out about it. This area here looks like it was... hold on. This thing is not doing what I want it to do. So that area up there seems to just be a storage area for mining equipment, and you also see like old barrels and boxes that are covered in fungus all around it. In addition to that, there is a door here, and there is a barrier that has a door on the opposite side as well. So there are doors here and here. And this area is empty other than being filled with mushrooms and unopened crates and barrels that are covered in this carpeting of fungus along with everything else.
Okay.
Well, might as well try this door out.
Okay, just gonna check the door to make sure that there aren't any traps.
Damn.
Oh, that's not
As
good.
far the door looks completely clear of traps of any kind.
Is it locked?
It is.
Well, I'm gonna pick it because, as far as I'm concerned, it's safe.
Oh shit.
Okay. I
Roll a d6.
all right. Let's see. Yeah, you pick the lock very successfully. It pops open. I know I'm being rather quiet, and I apologize for the delays. But I'm just making sure I have everything in order. You pick the lock deftly, and the door is at your mercy. In the meantime, Mirth, you finish casting Comprehend Languages.
Sounds good. Alright. And I guess I'll go over to look at the writing around Gerard's body.
Alright. It is you're able to begin to read it, and you need to make a Constitution save.
Right.
Come on, Mirth, you got this.
Got this.
All right.
I got this. Yeah.
As images of dark evil and blood wash over your mind, you fight it off. You fight through those similar visions to the ones that had flooded your mind the last time that you had read this same language in the book. And as you begin to comprehend the words that are before you, you see that they are a prayer. But in the place where Valkyr's name should be, and you do recognize this as a prayer to Valkyr, as you've heard it before, the place where Valkyr's name would be is smudged out in blood and dirt. And you can see that this writing is a prayer to Valkyr that has been tainted.
Huh. Yeah, that's not good. I'll quickly inform the rest of the party.
Okay.
Yeah, if he's crossing out the name of the god who apparently is telling him what to do, we can all agree that it has nothing to do with it.
Is it possible to know what language this is, or the spell doesn't tell you this?
I can just read it. I have no idea what language it's in.
Okay.
Okay.
So I suppose by that time I would have finished.
Yes, by that time you would have finished.
And she looks at the group. Any last words?
Well, Gerard didn't really know you all that much. We've only known each other for about a week, and most of it was spent arguing. But you had a lot of life to you. You had a lot of pizzazz. I think in time you might have been a pretty decent guy, all things considered. You were really useful and basically saved all of our butts when it came to the big crocodile things, so hopefully you get an extra drink in whatever afterlife you go to for that. Sorry to see you gone, man. I hope you end up living a better life next time.
Long live
Angus.
Gerard Dupree. May he outdrink the heavens.
Angus bows his head and starts speaking in Thieves' Cant. You can't understand what he's saying, but from the general tone of it, you get the sense it's sort of like a prayer that's being spoken. And basically says, across the breadth of the seas, into the depths of the nine hells itself. Rest easy, my friend, and know that you will be avenged.
I give him a smile and clap him on the shoulder and say, "That was very nice of you. Well spoken."
How would you know?
Comprehend languages is still active.
Yeah.
Damn it!
So I just thought you were speaking common.
These cat's an interesting one, because it's actually common, it's just using code words.
Yeah, code. Well, it says I understand the literal meaning of any spoken language I
Right,
hear.
so
Yeah.
he doesn't understand Thieves' Cant. He just hears it in his own, in whatever language he understands. He hears the gist of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Luna finishes her prayer, closes Dupree's eyes, tells him sometimes a flower is just a flower. Be at peace. And looks at the rest of the group, and says, "You guys ready? We need to finish this."
Yeah, I'm good.
The lizard folk barks out something in its language. And Mirth, you would understand him. He says in his language, "Great warrior, you fought me bravely and won. My life was yours, and now is mine again. I take your swords, they will be useful. May the great lizard consume you."
Aw, that was so sweet. Very nice. Very nicely said.
Okay.
Angus takes out a dagger and starts cutting off a piece of. Nah, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna smoke it.
Sharp-Eyed moves towards the door
Right.
and looks quizzically at Angus and Mirth. You hear him. He barks out something in his language, and Mirth, you hear him say, "Is it open?"
I'll translate for Angus.
Yeah. Just look to Sharp-Eyed and nod. Sort of make a gesture. After you.
Okay. He kicks open the door. Literally.
Yeah, get him, Sharp-Eye.
I think Sharp-Eye's a little angry.
He's
By
just
that time-
impassioned right now.
We would have lit the corpse on fire.
Yes, I'm assuming that was the next step in your eulogy there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll kneel down and then play like a dirge on my flute, and then cast Green Flame Blade and just let the flame glide down the fluid and then immolate the body.
Okay.
Just gonna kick through the dirt to make sure that all of the symbols are destroyed.
Okay. You do so. Angus's body burns, and a thick smoke begins to float up to the roof of this large cavern, and kind of fill the top of it up above. As the flames lick out around him and burn the fungus, you hear tiny shrieks, ear-piercing shrieks come up from the evil-looking black mushrooms.
Ew.
The sharp-eyed, not looking at the burning corpse, walks into the room beyond. Who follows?
I'll follow.
I'll wait for a second.
One final look at the body and follow on behind.
Okay. You move into the room, and you see Shepard's body lying in the center of this room.
Shit.
It is broken, and he's breathing. You see his his back rising and falling. He's in a fetal position, but not on his side. His knees are tucked under him, his head limply on the ground, his arms kind of outstretched, and you can see his back moving up and down rhythmically.
Where is he?
I will put him down on the map for you.
Well,
he is there. You move into the room, and Luna, as you move towards him, his back splits open and a pseudopod-like tendril lashes out at you.
Okay. Basically, she was running towards him.
Yes. So as you're running towards him, this happens. Okay? As soon as you get close enough for it to happen, it strikes out at you. Does a 14 hit you?
No.
Okay. So it slams into you, but not hard enough to have an impact. It kind of throws you off a step for a second, and you take a step back as it lashes out at you, and suddenly another pseudopod-like form erupts from his back, and if you are as close to him as you are forced back. You're forced back 5 feet. So just move your as like this explosion of pseudopod-like fungus starts erupting from his form.
So it's clear he's dead.
No. His arms and legs start to move, and he lifts his head, and there is a odd, strange laughter that comes from his lips.
Okay. Well,
That complicates our job somewhat.
The power of Valkyr rushes through me, and now I know the truth. This was never Valkyr, for her power is far, far greater than his. And you see his arms just kind of flail out in odd directions, and there's this odd, echoing, cracking sound as he just starts to fling his limbs about, and he begins to his form begins to change and alter in odd ways. Fungus begins to break through his flesh and grow and seep about him, and he slowly stands up as this is happening. It looks painful, it looks awful, but the entire time that hideous laughter is coming out of his mouth.
So about our plans.
Ignore the actual token. That is just a placeholder. That's not what he looks like.
Okay.
I think it's safe to say we end this.
Probably a good idea. I think it's a little bit beyond us doing anything to help.
Agreed.
I rolled an 8 on perception to figure out where this thing's nuts are so that I can kick them.
You're not quite sure. It is disfigured and disformed. Roll initiative.
Alright, let's do this. Do I notice, is it holding a holy symbol, or does it have a holy symbol on it?
No. But a sigil in that same language is carved into his forehead. And you're not sure what that's. That symbol is a name, and it's a name that your comprehend languages, like, you don't have an equivalent word for it in the language that you know. So it just is that symbol is the name. Does that make sense to you? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe you would be able to translate it, but if you had an equivalent name, but you don't. Okay. All right, we have everyone's initiatives. Almost everyone. Luna, you see this creature that was once the priest known as Shepherd standing before you. There is a strange symbol carved into his forehead, and his body is half humanoid and half this deformed fungal shape with tendrils of pseudopods kind of forming out of its body. And it stands before you laughing maniacally and with just utter insanity in its eyes. What do you do?
Okay, just a quick question. If I prepare a level 2 spell, am I allowed to cast a level 1 spell as a bonus action, or it doesn't work? I'm not allowed to cast 2 spells in the same turn.
You may only cast 2 spells on a turn. One of them is a cantrip.
That is correct.
Okay. Okay, so not really knowing if the priest is still in that thing, she'll call out to him, Father Shepherd! And she'll prepare a second level guiding bolt in case he attacks us.
Okay.
My initiative is actually 14, by the way. I just re-rolled the 10 because I wasn't on the initiative order.
Oh, gotcha. There, that'll fix that. All right. I'm sorry, Luna. Can you say what you said one more time? You call out.
Sorry?
What do you call out to it?
She calls out, Father Shepherd! Just so to know if he can respond perhaps, or is it still him? Any sign of life perhaps?
He locks his eyes on you and says to you, yes, but no longer a priest of Valkor. I was wrong. Your god is also powerless before her. Renounce your god. Come with me. See the power of a true deity. The lady, she will show you truth.
Is that my turn? Is it? Can I just change one thing?
Yeah, do what you do. What you're gonna
Just step back 5 feet.
do. Okay.
And prepare hold person, not guiding bolt. Sorry.
No problem.
And that's my turn.
Okay. All right. Vasir, you are standing right next to this giant deformed version of what was once a priest of Valkor. What do you do?
I'm gonna move over here. Sort of get around him a bit. And nobody's like really on that side of him, so I think any attacks I do would be normal.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. As I do a nice little trick with my staff, fling it up in the air, attempt to hit him with it, but then just kind of do a quick 1-2 combo before catching the staff and sort of getting in a defensive position as I... wait, I can't do a defensive position because I did 2 attacks. Never mind.
You did.
I'm stupid.
Okay. So you lash out with your quarterstaff, and one of the pseudopods that is attached to his back smacks the quarterstaff away before it can actually hit him. But you use the momentum of that blow to swing around and level 2 strikes into the body of the priest. You deal this 14 damage to him, and let's see. You deal the 14 damage to him, and immediately afterwards, what is your armor class?
17.
Okay. Immediately afterwards, that same pseudopod that blocked away your staff comes crashing down on you, dealing 11 bludgeoning damage to you as it does.
Can I try and use cutting words on that?
Yes.
What did it roll to hit?
I rolled an 18.
Alright, then... Oof. Then no, I won't. If you rolled the 18.
You just need 2.
But that's if it has no modifiers, right? You rolled the 18?
Oh, no. 18 was my total. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay then. Yes, I will use cutting words to subtract. Oh, you're kidding me.
It still hits you.
Surprise.
All right. We'll counterattack.
Okay. Angus, it is your action as you see this happen to Vasir. He strikes the thing and it lashes back at him, and it is your action. What do you do?
Do I have an idea how long the pseudopod can sort of extend to?
Sure. It seems to have just a it has a 5-foot reach.
Okay, so if I fired from this position, it wouldn't be able to hit me.
That is correct.
Then I will take a shot with my hand crossbow, and sneak attack will apply if it hits.
Okay. Yes, you level your hand crossbow and it strikes the priest, who seems to be completely uncaring of your attacks. But as you do, it slams into one of the fungal pustules that have grown out of his body, and it explodes. And he cries out in anger and pain.
And then I'm going to use a cunning action to dash and move across.
Okay.
And just sort of look across to Luna and be like, if you want to stop this thing, you better have something ready, because I'm killing it if we can't.
No response.
No response. Okay. At the very end of your turn, Angus, another pseudopod lashes out at you, Vasir, as you are standing right next to the creature. And misses you. But you kind of have to duck under it as it comes at you. And then it is Shepard's turn.
I was holding my action in case it attacks us, so can
Okay. Casting
was
hold
hold
person?
Yeah. Wisdom save 14.
Wisdom save 14. Alright. Roll a 24, so it succeeds at his wisdom save.
Jesus.
I rolled a 20 on the die. Alright. The creature before you begins chanting in a dark language that drips with evil. And where is it? There we go. And several spores of fungus explode from its body and begin to pustulate on the floor and materialize. And form into medium-sized creatures of fungal mass. All right, and that will be his action. He will then yeah, that'll just be his action. Mirth.
Right. First thing I do, stretch out my hand, use Hexblade's Curse on him.
Okay.
So for the next minute, I get +2 to damage rolls against him, and I crit on him on a 19 or 20,
Yes, you
and also
do.
heal 5 hit points if he dies. And
Yes,
then
you
for my
do.
action, I will brandish the holy symbol of Valkyr I stole from his office,
Nice.
and then say, what was the exact wording he said? Renounce your gods to us?
Yes.
And I'll yell, renounce your god, and then I will cast Phantasmal Force. And to him, the room we're in descends into a storm, clouds from above, waves churn, and tridents come sweeping from the waves to impale him. And he has to make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
By the way, DM, the spores he made, are we supposed to see them?
Yes. Yeah.
Can anybody see them?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
see them.
They're on the correct layer, so you should be able to see them.
Strangely enough, I can.
If you have to, try refreshing the screen. All right. He rolls an 11, Mirth.
Yep, that'll fail.
Okay.
So try and come soaring from the depths to strike him. D6 proficiency, so 2. So he takes 4.
Okay.
And I will back up further.
Ah, they're lady funguses.
They don't like to be called that.
That's fair.
They-
Fungi
they-
are supposed to be asexual anyway, so.
Yeah, they prefer that you use non-binary pronouns, please.
All good then.
They are fungus. Okay. So it deals 4 damage.
Yes.
Okay.
And that'll continue every round unless he wants to use his action to try and disbelieve it.
Okay. Luna.
After listening to what the priest said, Luna has this like a moment of clarity. She understands what she's supposed to do. At first, she casts a spiritual weapon as a bonus action.
Okay.
Um,
Let's give you a spiritual weapon on the screen. Where are you casting it? Point?
if possible, here.
Okay.
Oh, never mind the.
No, the spiritual weapon gets to attack as soon
Yeah,
as
yeah.
it appears.
Yeah,
So-
I did that by mistake.
So, do you not want it to attack as soon as it appears? Because it normally gets to do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true.
So, yeah,
Sorry.
it hits him for 6 points of damage as it appears.
Yeah. Luna walks over here and casts on this creature Toll of the Dead, trying to get its attention.
Okay. So I will make a wisdom save. And 16.
Succeeds.
Okay. So it ignores your Toll of the Dead. It just brushes it off.
She's just trying to get its attention away from perhaps Vizier, who looks like he's cornered.
Okay. That's a good call. The lizard folk will rush in towards this creature here and make 2 attacks, one with its club and the other with its shield. The club will hit, but the shield will miss, and it lays into it with 7 points of bludgeoning damage. The thing still stands. And at the end of Sharp-Eye's turn, a pseudopod attack will happen to Vasir once more. But it will miss. Rolled a 6.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, rolled a 6 to hit. So you easily dodge out of its way. And then these creatures make their first moves. All right, so it ejects spore. Each one ejects spores at a creature within 5 feet of it. So that'll be Vasir, Luna, and Sharp-Eyed. They must make a Constitution saving throw.
Nice. Natural 20.
They're trying to forcibly convert us.
All 3 of you succeed. And then the creatures step into a mushroom that's on the ground and move away and disappear into the fungus and kind of form out of the fungus away from all of you. Vasir, it is your action.
Okay. I think I'm just going to do a regular 1-2 here.
Okay.
Quarterstaff hit, but the unarmed didn't.
Yes, the quarterstaff definitely hits, dealing the 11 points of damage to it.
And I'll go ahead and go defensive for this one to impose disadvantage on anybody attacking me.
Okay. And as you do so, another pseudopod strikes at you with disadvantage. Man, this is moving incredibly slow all of a sudden. There it is. And rolls a 12. So clearly you duck under it as you are defensively protecting yourself. Angus, it is your action.
Going to use a cunning action to dash and fire off a grave bolt.
Okay.
And that's at Shepherd.
All right. The grave bolt strikes Shepherd for the full damage as necrotic energy pours into him.
And then I'm going to follow that up with a hand crossbow shot. And that's no good.
No, your hand crossbow shot, is that a 1?
Yeah.
Yep, that's a nat 1.
Your crossbow is dead aimed at Shepherd and is flying directly towards him. And at the last moment, he steps aside, and as he does, your crossbow bolt pierces Vasir for 8 points of piercing damage.
Oh my.
I like to think that Angus was sort of really angry and yelling, "Leave the monk alone!" Oops, sorry, Vasir.
I'll reduce that by 3.
Okay, so Vasir, you take 5 points of piercing damage.
Appreciate it. Oh, jeez.
And in that moment of opening, the priest will make one more pseudopod strike against you with the last of its legendary actions.
Still has disadvantage.
15 is after the disadvantage.
15 misses.
Okay. All right. Let's see something here. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mirth, where are you? Oh, you're all the way back there.
I'm all the way in the back.
You're all the way in the back. Okay. So everybody but Mirth needs to give me a Constitution save against poison. Luna, you fail. Angus, you succeed.
Yep.
I need one from the Seer as well. Constitution save.
It's really not one of my better saves. Ugh, kill me.
Well, Sharp-Eyed makes it. Okay.
Yay.
We're seeing.
A cloud of spores bursts out and fills a 20-foot radius sphere, centered on your priest here. And I'm going to give it an aura. You can see because they float and stick around it. Oh, right. I will also put here Hexblade's Curse on it. Okay. So, this 20-foot radius sphere, those of you who failed,
Yeah.
you're infected. While infected in this way, you your body is you feel the spores starting to spread throughout your body. Oh, that's what you get. Okay. I need each of you who failed to give me a D100 roll, please.
You grow an extra arm.
Vasir,
How do you do that?
if you
I
go
think
over
you can
this,
just type R slash
yeah,
D100, right? Yeah.
Oh,
okay. So if you failed, you had to roll it. That should only be 2 of you. Vasir, you rolled a 30. You are suddenly hit with a feeling of extreme paranoia. Everyone in the room must be out to get you. That's why Angus shot you with a crossbow bolt. You have disadvantage on wisdom and charisma checks until you are no longer poisoned.
Right.
Luna,
yeah.
you suddenly regard the priest with intense revulsion. with intense revulsion. And you
what do you mean?
you feel an intense urge to leave the area where that shepherd is in. As long as you can see it or within 60 feet of it, you must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or are affected by the frightened condition, and you remain frightened while you can see it or while it is within 60 feet of you. So you are not yet frightened, but as long as you can see it, you will have to make a wisdom saving throw at the start of each of your turns to not become terrified of the creature that is before you. And this lasts until you are no longer poisoned.
Okay.
Okay. It is then going to move here. And yes, you do get an attack of opportunity against it. Go right ahead, Vasir. Make your attack of opportunity. Are you making an attack this year? I can't hear you, man.
God damn it.
There it is.
All right. I hate this lesson. He'll make one.
Okay. Yeah, that
There
hits.
you go.
Boom. All right, you strike it and hard. Okay. Mirth, it is your action.
Alright, so first of all, on its turn, it'll take another round of damage from the illusion.
Right.
Another 4.
Nice.
Alright, on my turn, I will... Alright, I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers on Shepherd, so he has to make a wisdom save.
Okay. Succeeds. 23.
Yeah, that'll save. So he takes 6 points of damage, or 7 if you round up.
Okay.
And then as a okay, and then I can't use healing, so shit. Okay, yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Mirth, as you end your turn, Shepherd lashes out at Angus with one of its pseudopods. 13 to hit.
Does not hit.
Rolling like crap. Alright. It misses, and he cries out, "You all must see the ways of the lady and understand that she is truth. Do not make me kill you." Luna?
Wisdom save with disadvantage, right?
No, just a regular wisdom save. That will succeed. You do not need to flee from it. You are not in fear, but you feel an intense need to be away from it.
Am I forced to move away, or
You are not forced to move away. No.
Okay.
If you've overcome that fear, that desire to move away from it, but
Yeah.
you still feel it pressing on you.
Okay, so again, trying to have get its attention, she'll scream out. You shall bend like a reed in the wind and cast inflict wounds, which is a melee spell attack.
It is.
Um,
You hit, and deal 11 points of necrotic damage to it. Do you want to move your spiritual weapon?
yeah, as a bonus action, the spiritual weapon will hit it.
Okay. So why can I not grab your spiritual weapon? There you go. I can grab your spiritual weapon that I made, but I can't move it.
I can't use it.
You can't use it?
No, never mind.
Okay.
Does it hit?
It does not hit. It misses as it moves closer to him. His form kind of shifts around the blade to be missed by it. And then he will lash out at you with pseudopod. But a 9 will not hit you.
She screams out to Vizier, "Move!" Meaning to get away.
Okay.
Get out of harm's
Get away?
Get out of harm's way.
Oh, I'm already out of harm's way.
The Sharp-Eyed will move up to this fungal creature here and attack it. And hit once, but not for very much. Okay. The fungal creatures move up, kind of form through the fungus. They suck into one of the nearby mushrooms in the wall and travel along the mushrooms that are all over the room, and you can see them ripple, and they kind of pop out from amongst these mushrooms and reappear near each of you. And they are going to use one of their disgusting abilities. Let's see. Alright. Vasir, Luna, and Sharp-Eyed need to make Constitution saves. Luna, Vasir, you are incapacitated for the next minute. You can repeat the save at the end of each of your turns, but as of right now, you are hallucinating vividly to the point where you can no longer function.
Those bad mushroom trips, man.
Oh, it's a real bad one.
Oh boy.
2 natural ones.
Yeah, that was bad news.
We've been puffed at by these mushroom creatures.
Yes, they release these this cloud of spores into your face, and suddenly you are imagining the worst possible images of death and rot and desecration. And Angus, a pseudopod is going to lash out at you at the end of their turn. 24 to hit.
That will hit.
9 bludgeoning damage. Vasir, at the end of your turn, you can try to make the save to become no longer incapacitated. No longer going on your mushroom trip. That will
There we go.
succeed. So at the end of your turn, you are once again capable of function. You kind of shake off these vivid imaginings and come to your own senses again. And at the end of your turn, Angus, another pseudopod lashes out at you, but that's a 12, so it will launch right past your head, coming very close. And it is your action.
Would I technically still get sneak attack because Luna is within 5 feet, or is the fact that she's incapacitated going to stop that?
Yeah, she's no longer threatening the creature.
Okey-doke. In that case, I will just take a jab with my rapier.
Okay. You whip out your rapier and lash out at Father Shepherd, slamming your blade home for 6 points of damage.
Just sink the hilt right in up, lean in close, and sort of whisper in his ear. I know that you're a priest, and so you're probably a little repressed in these areas, but no lady is worth this much trouble. Yank it back out. And then I will take a disengage action and fire off the Great Bolt at close range.
Okay. Let's see that Grave Bolt. With the disadvantage, it will go wide. And go ahead and move yourself where you're headed. You took disengage. Okay. Luna is incapacitated, so he is going to move over here.
Oh, Lord. Hey, buddy.
And he looks down at you. Actually, he moves over there and he casts Spiritual Weapon. And he casts it right next to Angus. And a greasy black tendril forms in the space next to you, Angus. And let's see. Why aren't you doing the thing? It's not doing it, so let's see. I will just roll for the attack. Does a 17 hit you, Angus?
It does.
Okay. You will take 7 points of damage from the spiritual weapon. And then he will attack with 2 pseudopods against Mirth. 14 and 14.
Double miss.
All right. What is your armor class right now?
It's 15 right now.
Okay, cool. All right.
As Angus sort of recovers from being slapped in the face by this sort of slimy appendage, just sort of glares across. Things are getting very Freudian in here.
You will
Are they?
understand soon enough. Mirth, it's your action.
All right. Who is like gravely injured here?
Vizier.
Vasir.
All right,
I think
then
I'm the
I
only one
will.
who's taken sufficient damage.
Oh, and I think if the illusion was. Yeah.
You didn't take any damage,
Right.
so the illusion is still active. You have not had to make a
correct,
concentration check,
yes.
and he has not tried to get rid of it.
Awesome. So he'll take another 8 damage.
Wow.
And then. Okay. Yes. 60. All right. I will cast Healing Word Seer with a first level slot, which will heal 6. And I will whip out. Yeah, I'll attempt to gut him with my sword.
Okay. Roll the hit. 14 will miss. So
Shit,
Solus
dang.
flies past
Tragic.
his body. And
Alright.
in response, he sends a pseudopod flying at you. Uh, 17 will hit.
I'll cast shield and.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I'll use cutting word.
Go for it.
2 uses. There we go.
Alright, so it's a 13 instead, which will miss. Luna, you may make the save at the end of your turn to come back from being on your mushroom trip.
Constitution, right?
Yes. Okay. You
Great.
return to normal. And then it is
And that's it.
Yep, it is Sharp Eye's action, and he will attack the strange mushroom creature before him, seeing what it did to each of you. And he will strike it dead. As he just, in complete rage, slams down on it with his club, battering it to the ground, and then just pummeling it with his shield until it stops moving. And then the other 2 creatures release their spores at you again. I will need 2 more Constitution saves. Well, let's see. And you both succeed. They are then going to swallow themselves inside the mushrooms that are on the floor and walls and reappear far away from you. Vasir?
Alright, well, those things have left us once more, so I'm gonna head over here. Up to there. So we'll go ahead and do one of these combos again. Boop. Boop. And miss.
Both times, unfortunately.
And I'll go ahead and expend another key point to be defensive again.
Okay. It will lash out at Mirth with a pseudopod. 23 to hit.
Yeah, that might just graze me.
All right, you take 13 bludgeoning damage as the pseudopod slams into your midsection.
Ow. And I'll make concentration.
Yeah, you have to beat a 10.
Oh yeah.
You are fine.
You know, just a little.
Angus?
So I'm going to disengage so I can move safely away from the spiritual weapon
Okay,
and fire off a grave bolt at Shepard.
go for it. You fire the Grave Bolt and hit it for 14 points of necrotic damage, and you see a huge hole blast in a part of its fungus and just send these pieces of mushroom flying everywhere around him.
And then I'm going to move up next to Vasir and stab out with my rapier
Okay.
at Shepard.
Yep.
just in case Visir's still worried.
That is a critical hit.
Yay!
And you also have
Oh.
sneak attack damage.
No, I don't because I used the Great Bolt
Oh,
first.
right. So you deal
Oh.
the 10 points of damage to it. Actually, it's more. It's going to be more than that.
You don't get sneak attack if you use a great bolt.
No, his Great Bolt takes up his sneak attack.
Oh, okay.
So you deal. You're going to deal your full damage, which would be 12, plus the 3 that you rolled. So you deal 15 points of damage to Shepard as you rush at him and lunge your rapier up through the back of the priest's head. You see the pseudopods slam in every direction. Anybody within 5 feet of him is going to take 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and then the mass of mushrooms and fungi on his body shrivel up, and he falls to the ground in a heap.
Very nicely done.
Well, I'm still gonna keep an eye on the other little fungus creatures over here.
As Shepard dies, they shrivel up as well, and you hear piercing screams come from them as they fall over and die as well.
Ah, jeez. Okay. Well, that was intense.
Angus is
intense.
just once again looking for wherever the nuts are on this amorphous blob, and it's just going to kick it for good measure.
They explode into a burst of spores, and everybody around him needs to make Constitution saves. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't actually do that.
Luna just storms out of the room
Okay.
after seeing
is-
Shepard.
Is Visir still poisoned?
Yes.
Yeah.
Vasir
I'm
and
just
Luna
gonna run over
will
them.
be poisoned for. Let me double check how long they are poisoned for.
Got my paranoia poison going.
Oh, well, I'll cast that on him.
Lesser restoration. Okay. You remove. Okay, you remove the poison from Vasir, and Vasir, your paranoia begins to dwindle. In fact, as Mirth approached you to cast the spell upon you, you almost wanted to back away from him. But he casts it, and you return to a sane way of thinking. And clarity kind of fills your mind again.
Welcome back, bud.
All right, I'm good. I'm good now. He just sort of like points a finger at Angus. You shot me though, and I'm still mad at you.
I was aiming for him and he dodged. I'll try not to do it again in the future. Really sorry.
Just try not to be like directly shooting in my specific direction.
I'll try.
Luna, as you walk, as you march out of the room and into the next room and towards that other door, there are a swarm of those mushroom people. Probably, I'd say, 6 or 7 of them waiting in the next room. And as you storm out, they look at you, and their spores fill your mind with their voice simultaneously. You hear all 7 of them chant in unison, "You will come with us now." And I will we'll end there for tonight.
Sounds good. We're about to get abducted by the mushroom people.
all of you watching in Twitch land, thank you for joining us. This will be up on YouTube in the next couple of days if you missed it. And we'll remain up here on Twitch for a little bit as well. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for any follows or donations you may give. And thanks, guys. Thanks for a great game.
As usual. Thank you.
That was intense.
Ugh.